Manchester United finally feel like Manchester United again. Not perfect, not complete, but for the first time in years, there's actually a feeling around this club again. The atmosphere feels healthier. The players look happier. Old Trafford actually feels connected to the team again. And the biggest reason for that? Michael Carrick. Now look, I completely understand why some fans still have doubts. Because every managerial appointment is a risk. Every single one. But if we're being honest, Carrick has absolutely earned this opportunity. And with United officially announcing Michael Carrick as permanent manager on a 2-year deal with an extra option year, this has become real. And honestly, I think there are a lot of reasons why Michael Carrick is exactly what Manchester United need right now. Let's talk about it. People are already trying to compare this appointment to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and honestly, I don't really get it. The situations are completely different. Ole took over a team that had finished second previously. Carrick inherited a team that looked emotionally broken. At one point this season, people genuinely thought we were finishing 8th. Some even said lower. The football under Amorim became unbelievably chaotic. Tactical confusion. Players looking lost, confidence gone, atmosphere toxic. And Carrick didn't come in trying to reinvent football, he simplified things. That's the biggest thing he deserves credit for. Players suddenly looked comfortable again. The football became quicker, cleaner, less robotic. And the craziest part? Since Carrick returned in January, no team has picked up more points. He's picked up more than Pep Guardiola, Mikel Arteta, Arne Slot, and Iraola. That's ridiculous, especially when you remember where this team was mentally before he came in. The players clearly love him. One thing I've noticed immediately under Carrick, the players actually look like they enjoy football again. And this isn't just speculation. Listen to the players themselves. Amad Diallo literally said, "Making a mistake isn't a problem. Your mistake is my mistake." That mentality matters because for years, United players looked terrified of making errors in a system they didn't fully understand. Now, the dressing room actually feels United again. Amad also said, everyone is delighted to have him as a coach. That is massive. Casemiro said Carrick completely deserves the job. Benjamin Šeško called him an amazing coach. Kobbie Mainoo said he's loved every minute under him. And honestly, you can see it on the pitch. Players aren't hiding anymore. The body language is completely different. Even the football itself feels more confident. That doesn't happen by accident. That comes from man management. And I actually think Carrick being a former elite footballer helps massively here, because modern players respect managers who understand dressing rooms. Carrick isn't trying to become the main character. He just looks calm, intelligent, professional, which honestly feels refreshing after years of constant chaos. He understands Manchester United. This is another thing people underestimate massively. Carrick understands Manchester United, not just tactically, emotionally. He knows the pressure, the expectation, the media scrutiny, what Old Trafford demands, what the fans want to see, and that matters. Because some managers come into United and almost treat the club like a science experiment. Carrick understands the human side of Manchester United. United fans don't just want trophies, they want bravery, attacking football, personality, youth development, and most of all, connection. And slowly, that identity is coming back. The club finally feels emotionally connected to the manager again. That's something United have missed for a long time. Good managers improve players, and Carrick has already started doing exactly that. Look at Benjamin Šeško. Under Amorim, he looked completely lost positionally, now one of the most prolific strikers in the league this season. Then there's Matheus Cunha, slow start to the season, but under Carrick, he's become a completely different player. Aggressive, confident, creative. Even Bryan Mbeumo looks far more settled now, despite moving positions constantly earlier in the year. And then there's Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo looked almost forgotten at one point, but Carrick trusted him again, simplified his role, and suddenly he looks like a proper first team midfielder again. And honestly, I think the biggest compliment you can give Carrick is this. Players look better under him than they did before. That's good coaching. The board have to deliver now. And this is where the pressure shifts. because now Carrick has officially been appointed, the spotlight immediately moves on to INEOS. Not him, them. Because according to reports, Carrick specifically wanted stronger assurances over transfers, and the club welcomed that. Good, because Manchester United managers have been left hanging out to dry for years. This summer is absolutely massive. United need 5, maybe 6, maybe even 7 quality signings, and they need to support the manager they choose. Because if they don't, and things collapse next season, that's on the board, not Carrick. And this is another reason why the Ole comparisons annoy me slightly. Ole was begging for a defensive midfielder for years. What did the Glazers and Ed Woodward give him? Donny van der Beek. Carrick's situation should be completely different. INEOS now have to prove they've actually learned from the mistakes of the past. The Ole comparisons don't fully work. Yes, both Carrick and Solskjaer are former players. Yes, both are strongman managers. But beyond that, the situations are very different. And honestly, Carrick has probably learned from watching Ole's entire spell unfold from inside the club. He's seen the media pressure, the recruitment failures, the dressing room politics, the emotional swings. That experience matters. And right now, looking at the manager market, Carrick genuinely does make sense. Because who realistically improves this situation immediately? There were reports United considered Unai Emery and Andoni Iraola. And yes, those are very good managers. But there's also a risk in changing everything again. One section of the hierarchy reportedly thinks, give Carrick the job because he deserves it. Another was thinking, what if this becomes another Ole situation? And honestly, both viewpoints are fair, but the other side of that argument is also true. What if United replace Carrick, the new manager struggles, and everyone says, why did you fix something that wasn't broken? This is about stability. I think this is the key thing people need to understand. Manchester United did not need another dramatic rebuild. The club needed stability, calmness, structure, identity. And Carrick has brought all 4. Even the way he carries himself feels right for the current moment. No drama, no ego, no media circus, just football. And honestly, after the chaos of recent years, that feels incredibly refreshing. Now look, will Michael Carrick win Manchester United the Premier League? I don't know. Realistically, probably not immediately. Maybe never. You don't always appoint the perfect genius coach who guarantees trophies overnight. Sometimes you appoint the right person for the moment. And right now, Carrick feels like the right person for this stage of Manchester United's rebuild. He understands the club. The players clearly believe in him. The fans are reconnecting with the team. The performances are improving. Now the responsibility shifts to INEOS. Back the manager, recruit properly, build the squad intelligently, because if they do, Manchester United might finally be building something real again. So let me know what you think. Do you think Michael Carrick deserves the Manchester United job permanently? What's been the biggest improvement under him so far? And what still worries you going into next season? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. But for now, Godspeed.